So back in August 2024, I was sort of starting to get to know this girl, and for once I actually was having a serious intention. And so I sort of go out with this girl and we go out multiple times and we end up actually starting to date. And a couple of months pass. It's around November. And we obviously we bonded a lot. We used to text daily, like almost all day. This person basically became a major part of my life. And November comes by and things get cold. She gets a lot more distant, and I could sort of tell, and my whole mood shifts. And obviously, because this was sort of the first time ever happening to me, I go really needy and I sort of go into this anxious sort of mode, and she gets fucked up. Next thing I know, by the end of November, she had broken up with me. And this person who had basically spent these last couple of months with me has now just left. And they were a major part of my life, like something that I had basically every single day with me. And so I remember through the entirety of the month of December, I used to cry every single fucking night. And it was really shitty. I actually, even because of how fucked up this whole situation was, I literally started smoking again. And just smoking normal cigarettes, not weed or something. But basically I started smoking again, and back then I had started self-improvement back in 23. So I was a year into self-improvement and this shit just happens to me and I crash. I forget about self-improvement, I forget about the channel. Back then I actually used to post a little, but it wasn't all that crazy. And it was absolutely just an insane period for me. I was genuinely depressed for once, after self-improvement. And so obviously I get on with it. I didn't quit the gym. That was the one thing that actually stayed in my life. I remember I actually used to go to school at that time, and I'm genuinely not even taking the piss. I would sit in class and I would cry. I would literally be sat there in class, and because I would have so I would write her name and my name next to each other on the books and shit, like the school books. And I would sort of go back to revise the old sort of, segments, and I would look at that and I would literally cry in the class. I would literally put my hood on and I would start crying. Not weeping, but tears and shit. And obviously a couple months pass. I'm sort of getting a lot better. I sort of started going to the gym. I obviously, the one thing that had sort of stayed throughout the whole period of dealing with the breakup was the smoking, because I just kept smoking to try and get away from the pain. And so a couple months pass. I'm getting a little better. She actually, the same girl came back, and she just wanted to kind of sit there and she basically came back to friend zone me, which is some fucked up shit. She tried to came back for to come back for a situationship. Back then I was already kind of over the whole situation. That I actually genuinely blocked her, and I sort of just closed the door between us. Uh, and back then I actually was in a decent state back then. That was in May 25. And that was sort of the end of the whole sort of thing. I mean, obviously it took a while to sort of get her the stalking and trying to forget about the whole situation. I think it took all the way till around August to where I genuinely stopped giving a shit. Um but that was probably the like biggest sort of heartbreak that I had sort of gone through, like the sort of biggest breakup that really affected my life. And it actually taught me quite a lot about uh, what I sort of want in my future wife, which is quite different from what I had seen in that girl, because I realized that there are tons of things that I used to think were actually pretty good traits, which weren't. So she taught me a lot of stuff. I got even more red pilled after her, which is pretty cool. So you could probably relate to this. Like, I mean, you clicked on a video on how to deal with a breakup. You've probably gone through something similar. And the first thing that I would just like to throw at you is I used to think that she was the one. And this is the mindset that anyone would have if you have been with someone in a serious relationship. But the problem is when they actually break up with you. Because then all of a sudden it's like, are we gonna go back? Like, are we still, is she still the one? And the reality is, if you broke up with someone, chances are they're probably not the one. And if they are, which, you know, you might go back to them. I wouldn't probably prefer it, but even if they are the one, there would be a certain way for them to reintroduce themselves in your life. But it would not be wise to sit there and to think about them. Because I remember for the first 3 months, from December all the way till about March, I used to just sit there and I would literally, I'm not even taking a piss, I would sit there every single day just thinking about her and her coming back and she's the one and all this shit. And it's really pathetic. Looking back at it, I'm like, dude, like, what the hell is wrong with you back then? And it was all just me trying to cope. I actually used to watch all these like, you know, like these sort of dating coaches would be like, oh, how to bring your ex back and all this bullshit. And I'm genuinely not even taking the piss. I actually used to do the exact same shit that they used to do. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, sure, she came back, but she came back for a fucking situationship. Regardless, it's because, you know, people just in general aren't, like, you can't really change people. And that's one thing that, like, at least, like, the kind of person who probably can really relate to me would probably think. Because, you know, I'm the sort of person who really likes to control everything and all this kind of shit. Everyone does, you know, to be fair. My main point is get the idea that she's somehow special or that she's the one out of your head. Because, bro, let's just be fucking real. There's like 4 billion women on Earth, dude. Like, there are 4 billion women you haven't even fucking, like, known. There's probably someone who's like 10 times better than her out there. And this is no offense to the person. It's just like, that's just the reality. And, you know, obviously, even you sort of defining what you want would be a good fucking step to do, because you'll start to realize, and obviously, if you haven't gotten over her, you'll basically just describe her, because I remember doing this shit. Um, but you genuinely want to think about it, not in terms of who, you know, like just what she is and just describing her, but actually the type of person that you want to be with. The reality is, you should just get over the whole situation. And obviously, saying it's way harder than actually doing it. I get it. But the whole situation just doesn't, like, thinking about it won't change it. And you have a lot of pain. I remember I actually used to struggle to sleep even. And that pain you could use for something productive. You know, don't do the stupid shit that I did where, you know, you start smoking and you start doing all these bad habits and playing video games and scrolling Instagram for 10 hours a day. Because that was my life back then. That was how I coped with the entire situation. And it was not a good fucking way to cope with the situation. What I should have done, and what I pass on to you to do, is stick to self-improvement. Start meditating, start journaling, start fucking unleashing all your fucking, you know, traumas. Start fucking researching your childhood and, you know, going deep into your fucking soul. Get religious. Start to fucking I don't know, like if you're a Christian, read the Bible. If you're a Muslim, read the Quran. You know, get religious. Try and, find some deeper meaning. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, then sit there and find what you want to do with your life. And the reality is, these situations can either make your entire life change and shift and make you into a completely different person, or they can literally put you in a downward spiral to becoming the worst version of yourself. And so it's a situation where something dies. And, it could either be the good or the bad in you, right? And so that's why, like, the biggest recommendation I would have is use this as a situation, as an opportunity to get over every addiction you have, to destroy every bad habit that you do, to make sure that you build some new, better habits, to get on a routine and to start fucking, waking up early and doing all this shit. You don't have to wake up early, but like doing these things that will push your life forward, you know? And people think about breakups and they're just like, yeah, but like, I just want to cry all day. Good. When you fucking sit there and you fucking want to break down your traumas and shit, this will be one of them, because this is a big fucking deal for you, you know? And so that's why journaling is like one of those things that really freaking helps these situations. It helps you prevent them in the future, and it also just helps you to get over the situation in your own head because you journal it. And journal this as much as you fucking want. Like, genuinely sit there and journal this situation as much as you genuinely like want to. Like, journal it every fucking day. I don't fucking care. Write like the same fucking shit every single day. Like, obviously, like, still have it, like, don't just fucking copy paste what you fucking wrote, but like, you get the gist. The reality is, when one sits there and they try and find the main constraints in their life, the main, problems, the things that are holding them back. You look in the mirror and you see yourself and you're skinny or you're fat. It's a good fucking sign to hit the gym. You look at your bank account and, it's not fucking something that you like, then you should probably start fucking doing something about it. Try fucking escape the fucking matrix, do something, right? Start a business, start a side hustle, something, right? And it's like, when you fucking commit to these things and when you start to look for these, holes in your life to fix, to basically fix them, then you will become a more complete man. And with self-improvement and with you becoming a more complete man comes the opportunity to date better women. And there's just one thing that I really want to mention since we opened up the topic of dating. And it's that men don't appreciate their value in the dating scene. Most men have really low self-esteem. They think that they, don't deserve, the hot chick. They think that they don't deserve, a person who's loving and caring. And even chicks have that too. But like, I see this a lot in males where we just have such low self-esteem. And that's why most breakups are initiated by women, not men. And so we have to sort of raise our self-esteem and realize that actually we are worth something. In fact, we are the more valuable player here. When you fucking get into a relationship, you're the one who's going to fucking be doing all the work. You're the one who's going to be fucking, at least if you follow fucking traditional relationship roles, like, fucking trans or some shit. You are the valuable player here. You're the one who's actually, you're the one who has more responsibilities on them. Getting into a relationship is harder on you. But that's why it should be more rewarding for you. And the reality is, these days, relationships are not rewarding for the man in any way. In fact, they're more fucking humiliation rituals to the fucking man than anything else. And it's honestly embarrassing. It's embarrassing to fucking see these, fully grown men, these fucking adults, who literally will fucking get humiliated by their wives, get humiliated by their fucking women. It's just embarrassing. The other day, the whole fucking Piers Morgan situation, like, it's just fucking embarrassing to fucking see that this guy, with all his monumental success, is with some fucking whore. And she's fucking like black guys and like fucking taking a picture of a fucking guy. Like, what the fuck's this? It's embarrassing. It's genuinely embarrassing to be a man and fucking have this sort of fucking lifestyle. And a man of success at that. And so, and then again, this just shows that men have really low standards for women. And I think that's something that men should definitely change as well about their whole fucking dating style, is that you should never fucking have low standards. And the moment that a woman does anything fucking uh, even half bad, you should fucking warn her. Because it's just like not fucking giving these warnings and not fucking threatening to fucking leave is the very thing that causes you to, you know, essentially fuck up the whole fucking relationship. Regardless, now we're fucking talking dating. Another point that's actually going to really help you, and this will only work if it actually applies, is that you want to find true friends. And I have to fucking put 100 lines under true, because there are tons of friends who won't really be true. There are tons of friends who will just simply fucking go when shit gets hard. But those who stick by you, you should fucking cherish. And I remember back in that period, I actually had one friend. I don't really like, me and him aren't really that close anymore. But he, like, me and him would sort of always fucking go together, and like, you know, I would sort of always vent and cry to him all the fucking time back when I was sort of going through that situation. And he helped me out big time. When I was going through low self-esteem moments and shit, I genuinely, I'm not even taking the piss, and I fucking love this guy. He would genuinely like fucking try and raise my self-esteem. He would literally text me like some fucking wholesome shit. And he would like help me to, you know, calm myself down. And he was genuinely a definition of a true friend. And so find yourself people like that. If you can find yourself true brothers, or perhaps you already have them, it'd be a good fucking worthwhile thing to stick by them. And listen, bro, I know I didn't fucking validate the fact that, you know, you have all these fucking dark thoughts, and, you know, like, I understand this shit, bro, because I was there. I understand, like, you fucking have these dark thoughts, you have this fucking insane amount of rage and just anger and sadness and sense of betrayal. But you have to use this fucking energy. You have to fucking use it and put it somewhere. And it can either bring you into a downward spiral, or it could fucking make you, you know, the best version of yourself out there. And so the final thing I'll end off with is, I need you to fucking take action. We've been doing all the talking, we've been doing all the yapping, but we gotta actually fucking commit to the work. Because if we don't commit to the work, then, you know, it's pointless. And so we have to go ahead and fucking start writing our fucking goals. We have to start fucking doing something. Establish the fucking habits you're gonna fucking start. Start watching the fucking, if you aren't already on self-improvement, you should get on fucking self-improvement. If you, you know, aren't meditating, you should probably start meditating. You should probably start journaling. You should probably be doing all these different things. And I'll actually have more, you know, sort of guides in the future to talk about these things. So I'll have a meditation guide, I'll have a journaling guide. I have like guides on the channel, but they're pretty old, and I have a lot of new things I could sort of help you out with in the new guides. So definitely wait out for those. But try and always like seek self-improvement. If you don't already, you know, if you aren't already in the gym, you should probably fucking get into the fucking gym. You know, try and maximize every area of your fucking life. And this is a period where you have a ton of energy. You don't even need to fucking sleep, bro. You could just fucking grind all day. And if you need to sleep, obviously fucking sleep. Don't fucking listen to my dumbass. But, you know, you just use this period, because what will come out of this period is a completely different version of yourself. A version of yourself that will attract far better women. That will, you know, perhaps be the one who breaks up with the girls instead of getting broken up with. At least, you know, I mean, I wouldn't hope for it, but you get the gist. Point is, you have to fucking grow. And that starts by all the fucking self-improvement and all this shit. Don't fucking, I mean, obviously you could totally fucking go ahead and try and date again. The whole point of dating, I'll just mention this really quickly. You could totally date again, and you could totally try and get over her with just dating another girl. But it's like, why would you just want all these emotions gone? Like, why would you want all that, like, fucking energy and the dark fucking emotions to be gone? When you could fucking just, like, transmute them into the fucking work and into the fucking self-improvement. It'd be a lot more better if you simply improved yourself and gotten a higher quality, you know, woman to date later. And obviously, it's totally up to you. I'm not gonna fucking tell you what to do. I simply just give you what I would do in this situation. Regardless, that's really all there is to it for this video. If you want my personal help, one-on-one, where I simply help you like on a private call, all this shit, whether it's on self-improvement, fitness, breakup, advice, whatever it might be, I could DM me on Instagram. I have coaching calls where I basically help you out. And if you're interested in a more, sort of fitness realm, I have the Thrive Attainer, 6-month coaching program, blah, 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 blah. If you're interested, you could basically check the link in the description, the second link. And as long as you commit to the work, you'll be getting your results.